What up, everybody? This is as you know, you're a day away from week one of the NFL season. Um, Damn, I've been waiting for this since damn their Super Bowl 51 ended. You know what I mean? I knew that that was gonna be the last football I was gonna see for damn their let's say you know like an estimation of 6 or 7 months. So this is really exciting, bro. Like week one is right upon us. Last week was a great week of college football. There were football games, I believe, for on 4 different days. It was between Thursday and Monday. Both the Chick-fil-A bowls, both the Chick-fil-A kickoff games were great. The Alabama, Alabama, Florida State, and then Georgia Tech and Tennessee are both good. It was a really good week of college football, so that was kind of the precursor of just have like potentially having a great week one NFL NFL starting the season. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, man. Everybody kind of didn't expect the Patriots to be manhandled at home to Kansas City last night on Thursday. Nobody expected that. Everybody talking about the Patriots, but let's be fair. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. You know, they didn't. They didn't get. They didn't get. Beat up like everybody anticipated. They were in the game the whole game. I felt like at some point in the game they gave up a little bit more than what they should in terms of defensively. Because remember the Patriots last year were the best scoring defense last year. They were the best scoring defense, and they allowed the least amount of points out of all teams in the National Football League. So when I saw 21 or 27, that's when I knew it was like, okay, they did give up a little bit too much points. But then when the fourth quarter came, they were outscored by Kansas City 21-0. You know, and let's not forget Dante Hightower did go down. So I guess that had something to do with the defensive ineptitude. But that was that was a good opening. That was a good opening game for the season. Now I'm moving on to Sunday. One of the games I was kind of anticipating was the Buccaneers and Dolphins, but of course that game was canceled because of the crazy Hurricane Irma coming down there. That's gonna hit. That's gonna hit from the bottom of from the bottom of Florida all the way to the top. It's gonna hit from Miami to Jacksonville. You know what I mean? And we don't know how bad that hurricane gonna be. You've seen the damage that hurricane's already done, in some of the Caribbean countries. You know what I mean? So it's gonna slam from Miami upward, and then even Georgia. And some parts of South Carolina have to gear up. Because by the time they get up there, it's probably gonna be a Category 2 or tropical storm. So that was one of the games I was anticipating. It was like that Florida rivalry, Tampa, Miami. A lot of fans was going to show up. And even besides from the like from the geographical standpoint, you have two teams, who are up. They're upstart teams. You have Miami, Dolphins, and then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams are good young teams. Miami went to the playoffs last year. Tampa Bay was 2 games away from the playoffs. Jameis Winston is a promising young QB. Jay Cutler is a guy who was retired, but then he came back. And apparently he came back with a head coach in which, Adam Gase, he knew exactly how to work with him in terms of offensive production. I think Jay Cutler had his best year as a pro in Chicago with Adam Gates as his quarterback or offensive coordinator, whatever. So the deal made sense. And you look on the defense side of the ball, Miami had stud defensive players. You have Cameron Wake, Kiko Alonso. You know, they have a couple guys in secondary, Brian Maxwell. You know, so they have the defense, the personnel to win the games. As for Tampa Bay, you have Gerald McCoy, you have Brent Grimes, They signed I think they signed. Yeah, they just signed T.J. Ward a couple days ago. I was shocked about that move that Denver made. That was one of the shocking moves. The same thing with Joe Hayden up in Cleveland. Cleveland basically give their best corner to Pittsburgh, a team that's in your division. And guess what? Pittsburgh's going to play Cleveland week one. So here you're going to have a guy Antonio Brown running all over your secondary. Who the hell is going to cover him? You know, but that was one of the games I was looking forward to. So that game is canceled. That game was actually moved to week 11 later this year. So moving on, we have the early games. You have Atlanta at Chicago. You have New York the Jets in Buffalo. You have Pittsburgh and Cleveland. You have Cincinnati and Baltimore. For some reason, I don't know if anybody notices, but there's a lot of divisional rivalry games in week one. That's not really the norm. You know, there's only like 4 or 5 games in which they're out of the division, like Arizona and Detroit, Chicago and Atlanta, Indianapolis and St. Louis. I'm sorry, L.A. You look at the Monday Niners, you look at the Saints and the Saints and the Vikings, and then and then there's 2 Monday night games this year, the doubleheader. The first game is the Saints and Vikings, and the next game is the Chargers and the Broncos. Both of those 2 teams have rookie head coaches, so that's going to be a good one to watch. You know, the Chargers don't move to L.A. San Diego is without a team. They're playing in that 30,000 seat stadium. I don't know how the hell they're gonna do that. I don't know how the hell they're gonna do that. I mean, they're gonna play for that, they're gonna play in that stadium for at least 3 years. That stadium project that they have out there in Los Angeles with the Rams, that's set to open a year late because of the weather from last year. But if you're looking at it, it's going to be a great week one. There's a lot of headlines. You look at the Sunday night game with the Giants and Giants and Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott's suspension got it was upheld, meaning that his suspension was supposed to start early this season, but apparently it's going to it's going to be put to the side for a while, and he's eligible to play this week. So that's good for the Cowboys. But if you look at the other side of the ball, if you look at for the Giants, Odell Beckham, he had played that preseason game against Cleveland. He got an ankle injury from that hit from one of the corners for the Browns. So he's questionable to play this Sunday. For the first time in his career, he will have to miss a game based upon an injury. He's never missed a game, based upon injuries. He's been healthy. He's, how it got, he's only missed 1 game. That was a suspension, 1 game suspension from that altercation with Josh Norman back in 2015. But for the first time, he's on the injury report. So everybody's saying it's a smoke screen. Everybody say he's good. He's just want to shock everybody. Who knows? But that's gonna be a heavyweight battle down there in Dallas. And that's a Sunday night game. That's the game that ends the Sunday games. But continue on with the Sunday. You got the Panthers and in San Francisco. That's going to be an underrated game as well. You have Carolina Panthers traveling on the West Coast early in the season. You have so much rookie talent across the board for 2 teams. For San Francisco, you got Reuben Foster, a first round pick. He looked good this preseason. I remember that hit he put on the rookie running back for the Vikings. I think his name is he played for Fuller State. I think it was damn, but I think it was Dalvin Cook. I think that's his name. Yeah, but that was a sick hit. That was a monster hit. He put on that guy. That guy was so 2 top flight talents. They're already showing their rookie flashes. In the preseason. That's gonna be a great game. Then you got the other side of the ball. You have Christian McCaffrey. He's making his NFL debut. This is a guy that was electrifying in college. He broke the FBS record that was once held by Barry Sanders for yards from scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? That record stood for a long time. Barry Sanders. I don't know how old your guys are, but Barry Sanders. When he was because he went to school at Oklahoma State, and he shredded the record books in terms of yards from scrimmage, running, receiving, punt returns or whatever. That's the same thing what McCaffrey did in Stanford. And one of the more impressive things about it is that he went to a smart school, like a school that has a school that doesn't even have a 5% acceptance rate, and he was able to first of all, he's just gifted with talent. His father was an NFL player. His mom was a track star. He has talent all over the board. He went to a school that is highly demanding on education and classwork, and the fact that he could do that and play football at the same time, not only play football but be one of the best in the nation. You know what I'm saying? It's a tremendous gift. It's really a tremendous gift. But I would love to see what he's going to do his first game. His first game, he might be limited. You know, it might take McCaffrey probably a month to get into NFL speed. Like most rookies. Most rookies don't just come in and just tear it up. We don't see the Dak Prescott's. Just coming in the NFL and just tearing it up. It takes time because the NFL is a professional. It's a professional game, and you're playing with grown ass men. You're playing with guys who are 27, 28, 20, 26, and older, grown ass men who've been doing this for a long time. Julius Peppers is he's heading into his, I think, was it 17th year. He's played in the NFL since 2002. Okay, you look at the NFL's, think of the NFL what it was back in 2002, and he's still playing. It's remarkable. Tom Brady, it's had, since he's been playing since 2000. You had these guys grown ass men who've been playing a long time, and I actually like the fact that Julius Peppers went back to Carolina. That was a pretty sweet deal. The good news, he went back to his team, but the bad news is that he's 37. So but last year he did have 4 sacks. So he's still productive. He's still very productive. You know, I expect him to get at least probably 7 or 8, 9. That would be a good year for him, based upon the career he's had. He's an active leader in sacks, career sacks. J.J. Watt is coming back. He's going to be healthy. He's going to tear up the league. I hope he just could stay healthy, because he only played 3 games last year, 3 or 4 games last year. But J.J. Watt is going to come back and tear it up, and that's another thing I want to talk about. The Houston Jacksonville game. We all know that Houston got hit hard by Hurricane Harvey a couple weeks ago. Probably like a week and a half ago, and then I'm surprised that game was actually going to get played in Houston. I thought they was going to have to move that game or postpone it like they did the Dolphin Buccaneer game. But apparently they're going to go with that game down in Houston. That's going to be a good game. You know, Texas and their football is like a marriage. Texas football and church, the three things that you know that you must love in Texas. You got to go to church and you have to love football. You look how many college football teams they have in Texas.